it takes.
All right, there it is, right there.
Hey, we're live. Welcome to Doc FESTIVE.
Perfect.
Where we talk all things Halloween and Christmas, because we're nuts about that shit. So how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Halloween, I got my peppermint tea. I've got my everything ready to go.
You haven't got your eggnog. I saw you posted about eggnog.
I drank it all.
Oh, no, I saw that. Oh, was that your teeth? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of do things like that. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. That's cool. So Halloween's over. I can't believe it's over. But you know what? In a weird way, there's this big build up to Halloween, and I love it. Yeah. And as soon as it's over, I'm kind of ready for Christmas. So let's see the day after.
Yeah, I was kind of not even ready at all. I think we talked about this the last time we did the show, but I kind of wasn't even ready at all for Halloween this year. I was just kind of like, this year I'm not, which normally I do, but this year I was just like, I'm not really feeling this.
Not feeling it. Yeah, so, that's a shame. Yeah. That's a shame. There's always next year, which is good. So, quick question: on Halloween night, did you watch a movie? And if so, what movie?
Well, it's pretty funny. I didn't think I was gonna be able to watch anything because we had a big windstorm here, and power lines went out. Got knocked all over, and so I didn't have any power. Halloween was on a Tuesday. I didn't have power from Monday night.
Oh God, yeah, I did see that.
For when I woke up on Tuesday, and I went all day thinking, oh, the power's not back, and then finally, like, our neighbor texted and she's like, oh, the power's back, and I'm like, oh, good. So I came home and I watched It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah,
I do that every Halloween.
That's brilliant. In fact, we've probably watched that about 5 or 6 times during October, because my son kept digging it out and spun it on, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine, I'm cool. I'm cool with that. Oh, it's great. That's a classic. Oh God, I tell you what, I did watch. Not on Halloween night, but probably just before Halloween, the Halloween Tree. I forgot about that.
Oh,
that was so good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, cheers for the recommendation. I kind of never heard of it at all. And it's thingy, isn't it? Hanna-Barbera. I think it is.
Yes, I believe it is. Yeah,
and it's so good and just so weird, really, isn't it? About like
well,
it's time traveling and.
Yeah, it's based on a little short novella by Ray Bradbury, and it's actually a very, very faithful representation of that book, because I think he wrote the screenplay, the adaptation. I actually think he won an Emmy for it. Actually, now that I think about it,
it was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool. Yeah. So that's on our list now every year. So cheers for that, which is good. But we watched on Halloween itself. After trick-or-treating, what did we watch? We watched The Shining. So I was like, I've got to put The Shining on. I love The Shining. So it's just still good and still weird and still strange. And then on the Blu-ray, there's a 30-minute documentary which we put on afterwards, and it was just.
Oh, okay. Is it? Yeah. Okay.
No, it's not the massive documentary. It's just a short kind of. Bits and pieces, gotcha. how he did this and how he did that, and basic Kubrick sort of some of the things he did in the movie, which were like, I actually don't know how he did that because it was so good. One of the ones is there's a shot of I've completely forgot her name now. The wife. Oh my God, I forgot her name.
Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, I forgot.
Shelley
yeah,
Duvall. That's the actress's name.
Yeah. I can't remember her character. Anyway, there's her and the son walking in the maze, and you can see them walking towards the center, and it's a stupidly high shot. I don't know if you remember that. You can see the entire.
I don't remember now.
It's put it this way. It's one of them, because it's like, what was it, 1980 the movie, and it's kind of like how
something like that. Yeah.
Fuck, did they do that? Because it's definitely not a helicopter shot. And on the making of, they were talking about it, and basically all it was, they shot from like a crane. They shot the center of the actual maze with the actors walking around in the middle, and then they superimposed it on the big model of the maze that they have in the hotel.
Oh, okay, yep, yeah.
But the whole way it works is basically. It's zooming in, it's slowly zooming in, so it's slowly like lower, and it's like it's just absolutely perfect the way they've blended those two elements together. And I never knew how they actually did it. I was like, that's amazing. So
no, I didn't know that either.
I'm still learning new things about the about the movie. So that was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went trick or treating. I took the kids trick or treating as well.
Yeah,
which was great. And it's good to see some of the houses around us now are going quite overboard.
Got decorated.
Yeah, which is great. So it was like we really enjoyed it. And it was that thing where sort of you're walking along and it's like you're looking for decorations in a house, or you're looking for a pumpkin outside, and you know quite well it's gonna be good. Oh, and then we've got a new neighbor. There's a new neighbor just across the road. I can't remember if I told you about this. And in the morning, the morning of Halloween, I got up. It was still dark because the clocks have gone back and all that. So it was dark when I got up. So I kind of looked out the front of our house. New neighbors had the light on in their front downstairs window, and there was just one red balloon floating in the window, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, nice. tell me that's not like for a birthday or something like that. Right, we've got to go there trick-or-treating later. So we've seen them, we've said hello and all that, but I don't really know much about them. And it was kind of like knocked on the door trick-or-treating, and I was like, by the way, and the balloon was still there, and I was like, by the way, I like your Pennywise balloon. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm glad you like it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
So it was. So I was like, oh great. So it was like,
it was a Halloween decoration.
Yeah, it was. So it was just like they had 2 pumpkins outside and just this red balloon floating in the living room window, and I was like, nice. that is amazing. So it was good. And I dressed, you know what, I dressed up for going trick or treating, because round, here in the UK tends to be just kids dressing up. So I was like, well, we had two Halloween events. One was Saturday. My family come round and we had a party, and I was dressed up as Hannibal Lecter. So it was the prison sort of boiler suit and the mask kind of thing. So that was cool. And then on Halloween, when we went trick or treating, I was like, oh, I want something just easy to wear, but I want to dress up. And I remembered I've got a Deadpool onesie with a hood that comes right over. So I was like, I was going to wear that. So for most of the night, it was all the kids dressed up and just me as an adult. And then as we were heading home, there was this family come around the corner and everyone was dressed up. The mum and dad were dressed up, and they're like, another adult dressed up. And it's like, oh, nice. And I think it is more of an American sensibility of dressing up. Us Brits don't do it that much.
Because I went to a family Halloween party on the Sunday before Halloween, and I dressed up. I have a Batman shirt that it's got the Batman symbol in like a utility belt printed on it, and it's got a cape velcroed to the back.
That's sweet.
I wore that. I'm like, I'm just going to this party for a little bit. And we were only there like an hour and a half, and I'm like, I just don't feel like throwing on anything. But I have this shirt that I never wear because it's got the cape on the back.
Oh, that's
and then if I take the cape off, there's just 2 pieces of Velcro on my back, which is also weird.
It's like, why are they on your back? That's weird. But then it's something easy to put on, like the Deadpool onesie.
Exactly, like the Deadpool onesie.
Yeah, I kind of wear it around the house. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm gonna go out in it, and I can just put the hood up, and it goes. It's got like eyes right over. So I was like, it's brilliant. So that was mine. That was mine. And we got so many sweets. It was ridiculous. It was just like
very good.
Was nuts. And like my son, who's 2, he just wanted to eat them all. I was like, no, you can have one and then save them. And then I've
already started buying. Speaking of candy, I've already bought some Christmas candy.
Oh, go on, what have you got?
You know those Russell Stover's pumpkins I had. They make Christmas candy, so I've had the truffle Santa, the maple cream Santa, the raspberry cream Santa.
That sounds amazing.
I had this one they called like a hot cocoa that was just like chocolate marshmallow on the inside.
Oh, nice. That's making me hungry, actually. That's really...
they were pretty good. So I was like, all right, Christmas candy already.
Oh, that's good. What have I bought? I mean, I don't know if it's the same in America, but on the Christmas tree, you put chocolate on the Christmas tree randomly.
Sometimes we do not chocolates, but candy canes.
Candy canes. Well, we Cadbury's do these like little Christmas tree. They're wrapped in foil. They look like presents or Santa or snowman, and a little piece of string on. So I bought some of them the other day. So they're sitting in the cupboard. Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
There you go.
That's the thing. On a downer about sort of like Halloween's done. And then suddenly I'm like, it's Christmas. In fact, I started watching earlier today. I thought this will be a good sort of breach between Halloween and Christmas. I started watching A Christmas Horror Story. I've never watched it before. Have you seen it?
Yeah, okay. No. You know me. I don't. Yeah.
Shatner's in it. It's an anthology, so there's four different stories. So I haven't seen it all yet, but I started watching it. I was like, this is great. This is like horror and Christmas. And I'm kind of
well. Here's one that'll get you. Of course, you know, even before Halloween, the Christmas decorations were out in the stores, obviously.
Yeah, same here.
Well, the radio station I work for part-time.
Oh, right.
The Friday before Thanksgiving, we'll switch over to 24-hour Christmas music. But right now, if you go to the station's website, of course, all radio stations stream their radio station now. If you go to the website of the station right now, and my kid is calling.
No, go on. Go and get that.
Yeah. So, hang on.
Yeah, go on. I'll ramble about.
Hello.
Well, yeah, Matt's.
Hey, what's up?
Cool. Yeah.
What's up?
Oh, I know. I'm gonna talk about Farmageddon in a minute. Look, we've got our VIP wristbands.
Okay, it'd probably be a little later than that, but I can. I'll pick you up around there. Okay.
Just tell her you're busy, Matt. Just tell her to go away. I'm kidding. That's really bad.
Okay.
That's really bad. Can we hear her? We can hear her.
Like 15, 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah.
I should be talking. Okay.
I'll see you then.
Shining's good. Matt's coming back.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so I was saying,
don't worry. Yeah.
Live interruption.
Yeah. Fine.
I was saying that right before the
right. So on the website,
I was saying if you go to the website, you can listen to the regular music, or you can already switch over to Christmas. The Christmas stream is up right now on the website, amazing. So you can.
Well, you know, today I was just doing some bits and pieces, and I was like, for some reason in my head, I started thinking about Christmas music, and I was like, I so want to listen to the Bob Dylan Christmas album again.
Okay.
It was just going through my head, but I have got round to doing it. But I'm like, I'm gonna.
Yeah. I haven't gotten there yet. Like, I'm ready for Christmas, but I try to limit. Well, I mean, my first time will obviously be because Thanksgiving. There's a week before Friday, so I'll obviously be listening before Thanksgiving because I'll go into the station and it will already be on, and I'll probably turn it on in my car. Yeah. So it used to be before I started working for the station and everything. I used to try to go till after Thanksgiving, but now I just don't care anymore. Now I'm like, okay, I'll do.
Yeah, just do it. I know it's do it. It is.
Especially this year, I'm just ready for that. I already listened to a Christmas book already. So.
Oh, really? Go on. What did you listen to?
Well, Mick Foley. You know the wrestler Mick Foley? He was Mankind. He was Cactus Jack. He was, he wrote a new book. He plays Santa Claus now. He 2 or 3 years ago was in a documentary called I Am Santa Claus. It's a good documentary. It's about guys that play Santa Claus at Christmas time, you know?
Okay.
And Mick Foley has a Christmas room in his house. He loves Christmas. And his oldest, his daughter, his only daughter, I was going to say his oldest daughter, but it's his only daughter, is named Noelle. That's her name. And so he got involved in this documentary where he was going to play Santa Claus in the documentary for the very first time. So now that's what he does. He doesn't wrestle anymore. He hasn't been a professional wrestler for a few years. So now he does Santa appearances at Christmas time, and he wrote a whole book. It's called Saint Mick: My Journey from Hardcore Legend to Santa's Jolly Elf, or to a Jolly Santa Elf, or something like. I can't remember the subtitle exactly. And it's cool. I loved it. It was so damn good. It's just all about him, like. Becoming Santa Claus and he tells stories about, when he thought, I'm going to be like this super famous Santa Claus because the WWE will use me. And then went from that to where he made some very small appearances. He did these things they call sneak-a-peeks, where you go to, a family hires you to go to their house on Christmas Eve, and they wake their kids up and go, Santa's here, Santa's here. To the point where now he goes, To the point where now that's what he does.
Yeah.
He's not a famous WWE Santa.
No.
He's like this guy that like goes to kids' homes on Christmas Eve and like puts on this little Santa show.
That's nuts.
It's such a good book. You gotta check it out.
That sounds
Saint
good.
Nick, it's called.
I'm looking at the actual documentary as well, obviously before.
It's a good documentary. It's good. I watched it the other night. I've watched it twice.
Oh, wow.
I watched it last year and I watched it this year. I just watched it the other night.
Follows five real bearded professional Santa Clauses to find out what the rest of the year is like. Oh, that's amazing.
It's a really good movie. Like one of them's gay, one of them is poor because he was like laid off from his regular job and like went through a bunch of hardships and
wow. I need to watch that.
One of them, and one of them is I can't even remember what one of them is, but like a real estate agent. One of them is a guy who legally changed his name to Santa Claus.
That's amazing. And, that's so
good.
That's so good.
It's a great watch it. I loved it.
I'm gonna watch it. And the book sounds amazing. That's the thing.
It's really good.
I try to find like Christmassy sort of theme things for like books. Like there's
I've got so many I'm gonna end up recommending to you. I'm not gonna go get them all off my shelf today.
Well, you know what? There's one. I've actually got the book and I've got the audio book, and it's one of the Terry Pratchett Discworld novels.
I don't know that one then.
Oh God, I'm trying to think. I think it's called Wintersmith. I'm gonna Google it. But that's based at Christmas, or what is Christmas on the Discworld kind of thing, and that is amazing. I want to find. Yeah, it is Wintersmith. It's called. Yeah, I might dig out the audiobook and just sort of shove it in the car and then put it. Yeah, and then the other day I was looking for Christmas video games as well. Like retro.
There should be.
There is a lot. I mean, I've got a little computer, Raspberry Pi, a little Raspberry Pi computer, and it's got something called Emulation Station on there. So it's got all these, all the old gaming consoles. So it's got Mega Drive, SNES, and stuff like that. So I was literally just Googling what Christmas games are out there, and it's things like Home Alone. On the Mega Drive. Well, there's Home Alone on the Mega Drive, Home Alone on the SNES, and they're totally different. The Mega Drive one's way better. And I had a little play of that the other day, and it was it really is. It's quite faithful to the movie, and you're setting traps in the house, and you've got to avoid the two.
I think I've played this game.
So good. It is good.
Yeah, I think I had it like once upon a time for like a Sega Genesis or something.
Yeah. It is. It's so I was playing that, and I was like, yeah, I've got that lined up. And then the other one I found was Lemmings, Christmas Lemmings. Remember
I don't know that one. No.
Oh, you don't. Oh,
no.
So good. Lemmings. Do you know Worms? The video game Worms. Right, you gotta blow it. It's similar to that, but it's Lemmings. Instead of having to sort of like blow them all up, you got to get them from one side of the screen to somewhere else safely. And you've got to build stuff. But there's a Christmas themed one, so there's all snowmen and Santa Clauses, and I thought I'll get that as well. And that was free. That was a freebie, so I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah,
so
of course,
it was great. So yeah, I'm not excited about Christmas. It's sad, really. You know what I mean? Actually, I was going to say the other thing I didn't say about Halloween was the Friday before Halloween. We went to our only sort of adults Halloween thing, Farmageddon, which has got 3 haunted houses and a zombie shoot as well. So we went there on the Friday before. I wrote a bit of music for them as well this year, so it was like we got like VIP passes and stuff like that. So it's let's get it. But it's the first time I've been to that event, and it was amazing. And I actually think it kind of like rivaled some American ones we've been to. Although it was only 3 haunted houses, they were all themed. There's all like stories throughout, and they were fucking massive. And it was mad. And there was just parts that preyed on all different fears. So there was parts which was like so dark, and then there was parts where you go around the corner and it's all very low lit, and the corridor was like this thin triangular corridor. You had to squeeze through it.
Yes,
and it was really. There was like maybe about 6 of us. And it was just really slow, and there's a guy hidden at the end with a chainsaw, and it was just like,
I hate that. That's the worst.
But it was so good. But then the first thing we did that night, so we got And they said, "Oh, best thing to do first, because it closes at 10, is the zombie shoot. So you you go through and you kind of go to a briefing room, and it's like, it's the zombie apocalypse out there. So you're going to go out there. You're going to be armed.
Do they give you like dart guns or?
Oh no! What it is, you get on the back. It's like a double-decker trailer with benches connected to the to a tractor. So it's on the back of a tractor. So you can probably get about 30 people upstairs and downstairs, and there's mounted paintball guns.
Oh, yes.
So basically, as you go in and queue up, it's like, if you want to buy more paintballs, it's like, I don't know, £10 for another 100. And I was like, well, how many do you get? And they're like, well, you get 60 anyway for free. I was like, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. So we go in, and what it does, it kind of, it dry. There's someone on each level, like, for safety reasons, and he's like, okay, take the safety off the gun now. Don't shoot. We're gonna basically, the first place we're gonna go to, there's some chemical spillage, and we believe there's zombies and blah blah blah. So it's a cornfield, and the way it's lit, it's so moody, and it kind of, it's dark, and it was a lovely night. You could see the moon and everything like that. Stuff's like this first part, and there's all these big canisters, spilt chemicals, all these zombies come crawling out, and you just shoot the shit out of them.
Nice. Oh, that's
you just,
that's a rough night for the actors.
Well, I mean, obviously they're protected, but you can actually
of course,
see,
but yeah,
you can see the paintballs are like, they were pink, and because of the lighting, you could, they were like tracer bullets, and you could see them hitting the zombies. I was like, oh, that's amazing. And I actually went, I said, oh, I just hit that one in the neck, and the guide, or the safety guy on our floor, he's like, oh, nice one, mate. Yeah, well done. That's the weakest part of the armor. That's going to really hurt. And he was laughing his head off. And then there was a couple of spare guns next to us, and then the safety guy's like, oh, watch this. And he got one of the guns. He's like, really fast, just like blitzing zombies.
Because I've only paintballed once, and when you get hit in a place where it's like, of course I'm a big wimp too, so it's like,
but you've got basically maybe I'm guessing 30 or just under 30 people shooting all these zombies. So then it went on to the next one, which was like I think a schoolhouse, and then it stopped at like a farm, and it was just awesome. But the last one, so there was me, the wife, and then another couple. So I was sitting with like my mate, and the two women were sitting next to us. And the very last one, this zombie just comes running like really close. Everyone's trying to shoot, and he just disappeared. And we're like, oh, that was amazing. And next minute, right behind us, chainsaw. He was actually on the actual trailer with us. I was like, holy shit!
Oh man, that's great.
And then he got between the women with the chainsaw, like that.
That's great.
Oh, it was so funny, but it was such a good start to the night. You just got like so much adrenaline after, shooting, and it was fun. Yep. It was such a good.
That's good. Yeah, that's great.
And then there was like three houses after that. And then the thing is, when I went in the houses, I was like, right, I've got to listen out for my music, and because so much was going on. My sort of basically all your senses are just like completely overwhelmed. So it was only now and again I go, I think that was my music.
That was me.
Yeah,
I think I wrote that.
Yeah, there's probably about like sort of 30 minutes or more of my music in there, and I'd probably heard about 10 seconds of it because of everything else going on.
Yeah, because everything else going on.
I was going to say the other thing they did in there, and I've never seen it in the UK. I don't think I've seen it in America. They made these like giant animatronics. So there was one part of one of the haunted houses. You sort of go in this room, it's really dark. Next minute, this massive skeletal hand reached out, and it was kind of,
that's pretty cool.
It was kind of like as big as the hand was like as big as me.
It was like a person, yeah.
And we were like, we kind of stepped back, and it was funny because my friend, he's got a phobia about snakes, and before we went in there, there was all these like fake snakes, so he was kind of freaking out. Yeah. Then he sees this massive hand, but then he just abandoned us and like just liked it basically. So we were kind of stopped. We were like, what the hell's in there? And as we looked, it was like they'd made an entire, it was the head and the top part of the skeleton with two arms reaching in, and it was just massive. And it was so my wife like threw first and made it through, and then my friend's wife went to go, and she actually got pinned in the corner by these massive hands, and she's going,
"Oh wow,
is there someone controlling it?" And then literally just pinned it to the wall. It was so good.
That's great. I've never seen that before either.
It was massive. So just imagine, it was a dark, big room. There was like smoke and stuff like that, and it was just this giant. As I say, the hands were probably about the size of my body,
just like a giant pair of like mechanical puppet.
It was hands, arms. You could see all the top part of the skeleton as if he was reaching into this room.
Wow!
And it was nuts the way that you're like, how
that's really good.
Do that? It was so good. And there was a couple of massive like animatronics like that. And it's just like that is so good.
That's really good. I've never been to one that has
so it was brilliant.
I've never been to one that has animatronics.
Yeah,
I don't think,
it was so, because it was like a massive lizard before that, and that was all like animated and moving. And I think there was another skeleton somewhere as well. But it was kind of like, that is nuts. It was so good. And it was like, wow.
Actually, I feel like maybe I went to one that had some kind of giant, like, it wasn't too complex, but it was like a giant winged monster dragon type deal. It wasn't like a super complex, but it was cool. You know,
I mean, this one was just mad the way it was moving, and how it could pin our friend to the wall. You know what I mean? It was just like, that is crazy.
That's really good.
Who's controlling it and stuff like that? It was so good, but it was good because I was like, wow, I've actually got my music there, and I'm doing more with them next year. And every
deal.
They just get bigger and bigger. And it's like, it is the main one in the north of England, but it's one of the most famous ones anyway in England, kind of thing. And every year it just gets bigger and bigger. And I was like, oh, I can't wait till next year. But we come away. I mean, we were probably there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And come away, I was so tired because of the adrenaline. I was like, why?
I've been kind of looking for if there. I want to start seeing if there's. I know because in this country they've got year-round ones, and like in 2018, my wife has some kind of work-related conference in Dallas, Texas, and she's like, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, I don't know, what is there to do in Dallas? So maybe I'll check and see if they have like one of those year-round haunted houses in Dallas. So that, because if they got like a good year-round haunted house, I'll be like, yeah, I'll come, because you're off doing. Because that's the other thing. She's going to go for some like conference. I'm like, what is there that I can spend like 8 or 9 hours a day for 5 days doing it? You know, so I'm like, if I can find something like a good haunted house, I'll be like, yes, a haunted house. I'm there.
You want the haunted house?
I'll just go every day.
Comic stores, movie stores. That's what you need to find, isn't it? Kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of be up for that. I mean, we've just been away for a few days because I live in the northeast. England, so we went to the northwest. I don't know where I even live. We went on the east coast, and there's a seaside town called Scarborough. We kind of went in there, and on the seafront there's like video game arcades and stuff like that. And there's something called the Tower Terror or the Terror Tower, I can't remember, and that's a live year-round walk-through horror thing.
Nice.
Because we had the 2 kids, we didn't go this time.
Right.
Kind of look after them, but we've been in it before, and it's kind of like it's all different scenes.
Is it so? I mean, movies. You never know on those boardwalk attractions.
It's okay.
It's kind of,
it's okay. But then we went to just a bit further up the coast, Whitby. Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. That was where the boat washed ashore and stuff like that.
Okay,
and Bram Stoker was inspired by all that. And there's actually a year-round Dracula like horror walkthrough.
It's kind of like how I want to go, not to Salem, Massachusetts. I don't have so much interest in, but I want to go over to Sleepy Hollow, New York. Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
If they do anything interesting, I'm sure they must. I mean, they've got a whole famous story about their town.
Yeah. So. But the thing is, Whitby's the same. Dracula's everywhere, and then you walk up steps, to the graveyard. There's a church at the very top, and the graveyard, and the ruined abbey behind. And it's like, wow, I've actually read it. I've read it in Bram Stoker.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's so good. It was just like this is brilliant. But the Dracula walkthrough is quite good as well. That's cool. A year-round horror. But it says in that one and the Terror Tower or whatever it is, live actors, it tends to be like one actor really at the very end.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing with some of the especially like the boardwalk type ones where like you sounded like you were on the boardwalk. It's more of a like a display. Like I know I haven't been to Niagara Falls in years, but the last time I was in Niagara Falls, they have a wax museum, and you get to a part of the wax museum where you can go through the scary part or through the through the normal part if you're too scared to go through the scary part. And so they got that kind of.
You got to do the scary part. You got to do the scary.
I'm thinking I want to go back to Niagara Falls next year, so I wonder if that wax museum, if it's still there next year, I'm obviously going to go through it because, like I said, I haven't been since I was a kid. But if it's over there still, I'll.
Oh yeah, you've got to go through that. You know what? Talking about like Halloween, like live Halloween events like that, I'm surprised they don't do. I mean, they kind of do Christmas ones, but you know, you can go meet Santa. I don't know.
You go meet Santa, but that's kind of I know what you mean. And
I mean, we've
I'll
got
take some pictures and video, but there's the store not far from my house, and I got to go there soon. The Christmas Loft.
Oh, right.
When you go into the Christmas Loft, there's no actors or anything, but part of the store is divided so that it looks like a little Christmas village, and they have Santa and the reindeer flying over the village, and it's all like little dolls in little houses. It's like a miniaturized version of a snowy Christmassy village.
That sounds
that's pretty cool. It's my when I am feeling super low, I go there and I just get centered.
It's great.
It's just like the most peaceful, happy little place. It's just
I love anything like that. Well, we've got probably about 5 miles down the road from us. There's a massive like outlet mall village type thing, and they put in fact it's happening tomorrow night. They put the biggest Christmas tree up. I think it's the biggest one.
Rockefeller Center's Christmas tree here.
It's like the biggest one in Europe. And you can actually, once it's up, you can actually walk under the Christmas tree, and there's all like little sort of scenes under there, and it's really good. But it's all the lights going on tomorrow night. I'm like, I can't wait.
There's a local fella to me. I don't know if he does this anymore. Plays Santa Claus. His name is DJ Noel. His last name is literally Noel. How perfect is that?
Oh, really?
Plays Santa Claus. Yeah. It's not like DJ Noel. His initials are DJ, and his last name is Noel. That's literally his name. Nice guy. He plays Santa Claus. And he used to have, I don't know if he still has it anymore, but you could drive up to where his home was, and he kind of lived out in the backwoods kind of area. And he had a workshop set up in front of his house with a big window in the front. And he'd sit in there because he works with wood and stuff.
Oh, right.
So he'd sit in there and make little toys.
Wow.
In December, you could go up to his house and watch Santa make toys. Like he'd make, little wooden race cars and little wooden rocking horses and stuff. And he would just sit out there, couple 3 hours a night in his little hutch, and you could walk up, and I don't know if he still does it or not, because I think he moved at some point, so I don't think he has that set up anymore. I know where he works, because he works in town, and he's but I've never bothered to ask him if he in his new place still does that setup, or if maybe that setup isn't like something that's feasible in his new place. Or it was great.
That's really good.
Well, I don't want to cut us super short, but I'm gonna have to leave and pick up my kid.
Sorry, just the last thing you talking about that reminded me of another Christmas video game. Have you ever played Sam and Max?
Nope.
The dog and the rabbit detectives.
I've never played it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a Christmas one. I need to dig it out. I've got a copy of it. I need to play it. So I'm gonna dig. In fact, it's behind. I bet it's behind me somewhere there on the shelf.
It probably is. I can't read anything back there, but I'm sure it is.
It's one of them. I'm gonna do it in a sec anyway. So let's end it there. So
all right.
Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Subscribe, like, come back.
Get ready for lots of Christmas talk.
It's Christmas soon. Take it easy. We're going now.
Bye, everybody.
Stop broadcast. Bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly. Bye.